I did my research on the construct thinking inventory created by Seymour Epstein. This inventory is meant to understand how thinking affects behavior. During the time of Epstein's studies, he found that all the other intelligence tests were too narrow, and therefore he wanted to create a more multifaceted intelligence test that would look at a more that would be able to give a more holistic understanding of a person's intelligence. He based his new research on the cognitive experiential self theory, which consisted of two aspects: experimental and emotions. By combining these two aspects, one should therefore theoretically be able to understand a more holistic understanding of a person's intelligence and not just one particular aspect. So while conducting his research, Epstein spent many years understanding and observing people's behaviors, reactions, feelings in particular situations. By doing so, he was able to create categories and break down these behaviors into various different sections to get a greater understanding of one's intelligence. The inventory now consists of 108 self-report statements. These statements can be answered by a range of 1 to 5. 1 meaning that the statement is completely false, 3 meaning that the statement is neutral, and 5 meaning that the statement is completely true. The inventory is also broken into eight particular categories. These categories include global construct thinking, emotional coping, behavioral coping, personal superstitious thinking, categorical thinking, esoteric thinking, and naive thinking. These eight categories are further broken down on the scale to get even a greater understanding of a person's intelligence. By thoroughly analyzing the results of each category, one is able to understand how a person would act in various situations and what a person would be able to think in those particular situations. So this test allows a prediction of how a person's intelligence works in particular situations rather than just getting a number from an test. So this test is not interested in looking at if the participant or the examinee is answering the question correct, but rather how the participant is answering the question. So there is no right or wrong answer for this inventory. When looking at the results are segregated by gender and are shown through t-tests. Over here, I decided to look at Spearson and Gordy's research, which would help me understand the gender differences between the results. Using their data, I created this graph, and in this graph I learned that there's three areas in which men and women had different results. These three categories are emotional coping, categorical thinking, and esoteric thinking. The only significant difference was shown in the emotional coping category. So as we can tell through this graph, that there are three categories out of the eight in which there is a difference between gender. But there's only one where there's a significant difference. Now, this is where the justification comes from for Epstein for separating through gender. Overall, from my research, I learned that this test is very unique and that rather than just getting a particular understanding of one's intelligence, you are able to get a more holistic and more realistic understanding of intelligence. This intelligence test is very practical and can be very helpful in finding a person's jobs, interests, areas of study. So this has a completely different understanding of intelligence. Thank you.